What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Hearthstone deck Spotlight. So it's been probably a year since I've done one of these, but now that GvG has come out, I have gotten back into the deck creating, I guess you would say, binge, and really I haven't looked at anyone else's decks yet. I basically took a zoo deck here and kept altering it until I found something that I really like. So I'm calling it GvGoo. Or GvGoo, or I don't know what it's called. Who the hell cares? It is an altered zoo deck. I don't know if you could really consider it a zoo deck. It is using early game. It's using a lot of taunt creatures. It's pretty much a control early game face rush type deck, and it works relatively well, actually really well. I have probably a 70% win percentage with it, which is quite good for me. So I'm going to go over what I got here, what I like, dislike about it, and what I think you might want to change, or you can, alter it to your liking, and what is really going to work well on this deck. Okay, you can see my first card is Power Overwhelming. I only have one in here because it's really only has one use, at least for me. Obviously, it's good to have a Beatdown card for late game, but I do have two Doom Guards. You might need a bit more than that, and that's where the Power Overwhelming comes in, and Enhance O Mechano comes in as well. This will give everything on the board either Wind Fury, Taunt, or Divine Shield. Obviously, if you give something Wind Fury, you're going to want to Power Overwhelm it if you do have Kill. It's a great endgame way to kill him. Next, we have Soulfire. I know some people don't like it anymore because of the 1 mana cost. I still think it's just such a useful card for doing that burn down. You might want to change it to something else, because we also have Imp Implosion in here, but this is a lot of RNG when it comes to Imp Implosion, but it's a huge help in this deck, so I'm going to keep Imp Implosion in over Soulfire. I might change out Soulfire for something else. Haven't picked anything yet that's better than it right now, so I'm still keeping it in. Trial and error. Going to see how it is as I go down the rankings. Next we got Clockwork Gnome. It's just a great 1-drop, 2/1 with a Death Rattle to add a spare part to your hand. I do not see why you wouldn't be using this. It's been great, and obviously with Undertakers in my deck, and this being a big focus on the Undertaker early game, really helpful. Leper Gnome as well, pretty much for the Undertaker. You're going to want to try and draw into Undertaker early game, or any sort of taunt creature. At least that's the way I do it. Voidwalker, pretty much been in any zoo deck. You want those taunts up, you want to have that board presence, and keep the little guys safe, like the Clockwork Gnome and the Leper Gnome, to do smart trades. Then we got Annoyotron as well. I know there's a lot of taunt creatures in here, but this card is just amazing, I find. It truly is annoying, and it's going to keep that board presence up because it's a taunt. If it wasn't a taunt, it would not be useful at all, but just being that taunt creature is definitely useful. Still got Direwolf Alphas in here. A lot of zoo decks already as well had it. I decided to keep them in. They're just so useful, especially when we have so many small minions. If you blow up an Imp Implosion beside it with a taunt creature on the other side, you're going to have a lot of 2/1s to deal with. It's just useful in so many situations. Haunted Creeper as well. Works well, very well with the Knife Juggler, as well as Imp Implosion does as well. This deck is very synergistic, and that's what I like so much about it. Everything works in 1 or 2 ways, so you have a lot of different ways to attack the enemy. But Haunted Creeper works great. Again, board presence. Even if it dies, it's even stronger. It's got 2/1/1s. It's amazing. Knife Juggler, as I stated before, works well with Haunted Creeper as well as Imp Implosion, and, well, pretty much the whole deck, because it's all under 5 mana, so it's just truly amazing. Micro Machine, probably my favorite card in the game, at least for this deck. You have so many taunts, this thing can just hide, and it is a beast at the start of each turn. It's not the start of your turn. By the time you put this out and you are able to attack with it, it is a 3/2. If it stays on the board for another cycle of turns, it's a 5/2. This is hell on earth if you can get it behind a taunt. It is truly amazing and truly fun. Again, Harvest Golem, I kept it in the deck because a board presence, anything with a Death Rattle that spawns something else, I find works very well in Zoo, because you need to keep that board filled with minions and just put the pressure on before they can catch up to how much damage you are doing. This is the one card I was kind of iffy about. I originally put it in because I thought it worked with Imp Implosion. It does not work with Imp Implosion, but we do have so many 1-attack creatures that it is very useful. Things like Voidwalker and Annoyotron, man, does this thing help out. I don't know if I'm going to keep it in, but really it's working well right now, and it's a lot of people don't know about it yet, so I'm utilizing it very, very well, and it makes it very confusing to trade either for the Knife Juggler or the Hobgoblin. People don't know what to kill, because seeing that +2/+2 when they know they're playing a zoo deck, which most people are going to by the time of turn 3, it's just scary to deal with. Do I kill it, or do I let it go and get rid of something like Knife Juggler, which is usually on the board by then as well, or the Undertaker, of course, as well. Of course, we got Imp Implosion. I've been mentioning this a lot. I think this is the bread and butter of this deck now. I mean, especially with Knife Juggler. It is just truly so fun to play with. Obviously, a lot of RNG aspects with it, with doing 2 to 4 damage, and then summoning a 1/1 Imp for each damage dealt. I'm going to say it either does 2 or it does 4. Rarely it does 3. I don't know the stats behind it. I'm going to say it's random, but I feel like it does 4 more than anything else, or I'm just getting extremely lucky with it. Really fun card, just puts the presence right on that board, and is truly hard to deal with unless you got a lot of AoE attacks. Enhanso Mechano, again, we're putting so many things on the board by the time of turn 4, where we have close to a full board a lot of the times, and then Enhanso Mechano just buffs everything, and truly makes it for a very difficult time for the enemy to catch up. If he does catch up after around turn 5, this deck will usually lose. Doomguard, obviously, you're going to be putting out so many things really quickly. The Doomguard, obviously the discard 2 random cards, rarely does it any justice. It's just such an amazing card, and I keep 2 in my deck. I did have 1 for a small period of time, but I was realizing that I don't really have much damage in this deck, to be totally honest, aside from the Doomguard, so having 2 in the deck is really, really helpful. I might play around with 1 in something else, I don't know yet, but truly, truly useful. Lothebe, again, there's a lot of mages still out there. Lothebe just keeps them at bay, especially at turn 5. Plus, it's a 5/5, it does decent damage, and it's just pretty much a staple in most decks I find these days. So that's pretty much the lineup, and I'll show it as it's being played now. Alright, we have another Mage. This is going to be fun. Mages, I don't really know what to expect. Again, I haven't played actively in probably 2 months now, and it seems like mages are like the creme de la creme these days. I'm going to keep, actually, I think both my Annoytron and Micro Machine, because these two work extremely well together. So if I can get something T1, that would be wonderful. There we go. Clockwork Gnome, not optimal, but definitely viable. So yeah, we're just going to utilize that T1, I think, here. As we got our Soulfire as well, so if he puts out anything scary, we should be just fine, though. He might even coin into utilizing his Fire Blast, but he didn't. So now we have the option. Do we want to risk it and throw out the Micro Machine, which he would have to waste his whole turn to kill it? Or do we want to throw out... Well, we got 2 Micro Machines now. Holy crap. We're going to throw out the Annoytron, because that feels like the much better play, especially when we have a 2/1 out on the board. Hopefully he wastes his turn. Well, not wastes his turn, but does a very smart thing of doing Fire Blast into my Clockwork Gnome. Do not know if he will be doing that, but that will essentially waste his turn, which would be perfect for me, because then I can throw out my Micro Machine, and this is going to be just fine. And then he'll have to figure out how to deal with that. But no, he's going to break my Divine Shield. And what are you going to do? He's thinking about it. He's really thinking. I hope he wastes a very good spell on this, to be totally honest. Snow Chugger. Freeze any character damaged by this minion. Actually a very good card. It's just a freaking pain to deal with. A 2/3. I always hate dealing with 2/3s. The good thing is we have our Soulfire. I am actually going to risk it here because I want to buff this Micro Machine as much as possible. So we're going to do that. We're actually going to get rid of this as well, which is going to give us our Death Rattle into our... I don't even know what these things are called anymore. Tools? Or parts? I don't remember what they're called. That's really bad of me, but this is a new expansion. So return a friendly minion to your hand. Not the most useful thing. But this is really where this Micro Machine is scary. He's got to figure out a way to deal with it. Add a random minion to your hand. It costs 3 less. Unstable Portal. He's using it right away. Master Swordsmith at the end of your turn. I'll give him another friendly minion +1 attack with Mirror Image. That's actually very scary for me. Well, not really scary, but it's just a pain in the ass to deal with. But we should be able to deal with it just fine here. And we can see that this is buffing up to a 3/2 already. We can hope for the RNG gods here and hit one of the actual taunts here. I think it probably should. And, of course, it doesn't. That's the pick of the draw there, I guess. That's all you can really do. I'm actually not even going to attack with this, I don't think. Actually, now that I have the Knife Juggler, I think it's a good idea to attack with that. And he still has to attack it once anyway, so he has to think, what does he want to do here? And you can see that my micro machines are just getting more scary and more scary as the time goes on. Now, obviously, we have to worry about Flame Strike T7, but that's not anywhere near in our radar, so we should be just fine. And as a Warlock, I know most people will be freaking out. We don't have any cards right now. Oh my god, so scary. But you really have the card draw to deal with that anyways. But we should have more of a presence on the board right now. He's doing actually a really good job of dealing with it, which is to be expected. We just really got to get rid of this Master Swordsmith, which is really blowing up my day. Actually, this is very viable. In any situation here, I really like this. As long as it doesn't hit the hero, I'm really, really happy. But I'm going to grab the card draw before I throw out my Harvest Golem because of things like Imp Implosion. Unfortunately, it is turn 5 instead of turn 6. If I would have had the Imp Implosion right now, perfect timing to throw it on that Spider Tank and try and get some good knives off. That would have absolutely been fantastic. Got rid of that. Didn't really want that because now I can't kill this unless I trade 2 for 1. Not worth it, going to the face instead. Now he has the option, does he want to kill the Knife Juggler or does he want to kill the scary Micro Machine that's getting much more stronger every time? I would go for the Knife Juggler if I was him, personally, now knowing that I am a zoo, but he's probably going to go for the Micro Machine because it's getting scary really quickly. Oh, smart move. Going for the Knife Juggler. I appreciate that. Always good to see good plays, and that I appreciate. And actually, probably because he knew he had Mirror Image. What is that? See, I'm learning a lot of new things. Put a copy of each friendly minion into your hand. So he's just going to fill up his board with mirror images right now, unfortunately. Not an awful thing, but a very annoying thing to deal with. So I'm thinking, do I want to Imp Implode his 4-1 right now, which is going to give me pretty much all board control. I gotta worry about Flame Strike as well soon. I'm going to actually go for the card draw here to see what we get. We got our Dire Wolf. So yes, I'm actually going to waste this. Hopefully I hit a 4. I hit a 2. Not optimal, but he has no damage on the board, so that's always good as well. So we're gonna get rid of 2 of these. We have enough to get rid of another, well, obviously 3. And as you can see, my Micro Machine is becoming very scary. I'm sure he's going to get rid of it this turn, though. Even if he has to use a Fireball or something, he's got to get rid of this, because he knows I can get through at least 2 of his mirror images, and I know he only has 1 left. And there goes my Micro Machine, which isn't micro at all anymore. I'm going to assume he's going to either Fireball it, or, oh, maybe that's got to be a Fireball. It's in his last slot, so he's been saving it. He doesn't want to waste his Fireball on that. I don't blame him. Oh, he actually has a polymorph. Okay, so again, I'm new to the strategies of this current meta. I haven't seen polymorph used in a while now, so it's actually really surprising. But now that he got rid of that on such a small card, being that I am zoo, it doesn't really matter because all my cards are small. But it's just good to have that out of there. Usually people only run with 1, so I'm not really worried about it at all. So he's probably going to try and kill this Harvest Golem first, so I'm going to put it on the left side, and then put the Clockwork Gnome, yeah, on the right side here. Actually, did I do my card draw? I did do my card draw. See, I just habitually do it now. I don't even realize I'm doing it. So yeah, we're just going to get rid of that, do a little bit of damage to the face. We should have him much lower than this right now, so it's a little scary, but we just need a few cards to get it right, and then we should be just fine. And this is Flame Strike's territory, so this would be a perfect time to do it. But no, he threw out a Spider Tank instead, which is totally fine to me. And a Goblin Blast Mage is... Whoa, what the hell is this thing? See, I love learning new things every time. I'm not used to this anymore. I'm trying to read this. If you have a mech, deal 4 damage randomly split among all enemies. Okay. Not too shabby at all. We are going to take that out. It would be nice if these were 3 health. Unfortunately, they're 4, so now I got to deal with figuring out how to get rid of them. We also have a Rusty Horn now, which gives one of these creatures taunt, so I might even taunt up the Imp, trying to save my Dire Wolf as long as possible. Or I could even taunt up the Harvest Golem. I am going to be using my Doomguard this turn, I think. I'm just making sure it's the right option here. Got to do my card draw first. Always smart to do that, especially when you get something like a Soulfire. Now I'm in a predicament. Do I use my Doomguard and risk losing my Soulfire, or do I use my Soulfire and risk losing my Doomguard? Statistically, Soulfire shouldn't eat my Doomguard if I'm not extremely unlucky, so we're going to do that. And we got rid of our Time Rewinder, which is absolutely pointless. Perfect. And we got our Doomguard out as well. So we are... Actually, do we want to just waste our... I think I'm going to waste Harvest Golem instead. This might not be the best strategy. Oh, crap. I already attacked with it. Oh, my God. Noob move on my part. My apologies. I still should be fine in this game, though, so I'm going to keep going. I forgot I hit with this imp already, which is absolutely stupid of me, but again, I never claimed to be a professional Hearthstone player. I just have knowledge of it, that's all. Alright, so he's low on cards, which is always good, so I'm going to start drawing out cards. You do got to be careful. They still hold Pyroblastus every now and then, so always something to worry about. So we're going to do Hobgoblin, and then Haunted Creeper. That's going to absolutely control the board. I didn't actually read this. Whenever you cast a 1-mana spell, add a random mech to your hand. That's a little scary. I might even throw out my Leper Gnome here. Just... Well, the thing is I'm worried about Flame Strike, but really, what is a Leper Gnome going to help at the full just of things? So let's do that. Next turn, he basically has to kill most of this board, and I have so much draw that... Oh, there we go. We got the Flame Strike. So I did worry about that, as I stated, and I risked it, and that was the bad play on my part. Did do 2 damage to him thanks to the Leper Gnome, and he's going to have to kill this. I still need to do 4 damage somehow. I still have 1 Soulfire in my deck. I gotta go for that. Got my Doom Guard, and I got the win. Just, again, total control over the whole game. This Mage is actually hard to keep up with, but I still kept up against him and did more damage than him. So it was another great play, and just this deck is just so amazing at keeping control until probably turn 7 or 8, and then it really dies down, and you have to basically kill it by... Well, we were actually on turn 10 there, so it did last longer than expected. So yeah, we're done with that one. I actually recorded 1 game before this, but I'm going to edit this so this game comes before that. But I'm going to open a pack here because why not? Hopefully we get something good. Always fun to just open packs. Alright, here we go. We're gonna buy that, and come on, Lady Luck. Let's get something good here. Doubt it, but that's alright. 1 rare. And a golden common. Alright, we'll take that. Already got Floating Watchers. Seal of Light. Restore 4 health to your hero. Gain +2 attack this turn. And a lot of other things that we've already seen. So yeah, guys. I guess we'll go into the other game now. Alright, so we got a Hunter. A lot of changes with the Hunter recently, so I don't really know what to expect. I'm going to assume for Face Rush... being that I'm Zoo, I don't really like to change my gameplay for really any style because it's just such a rush deck anyways that you basically are always rushing. We got our Haunted Creeper, we got our Leper Gnome. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else that's really useful. I'm going to actually pull for everything else besides the Leper Gnome. I think some people would argue to keep the Haunted Creeper, but I really want a good starting either Taunt... Or, well, we got another Haunted Creeper as well, and Loatheap, so even we did even worse. Might have been the bad choice there. We did get our Neutron, which is absolutely great. I'm going to throw a Leper Gnome T1, and hopefully he'll have nothing to answer with. We'll figure out relatively quickly what type of hunter he's going to be, but being that I am kind of rusty on my gameplay, hopefully I can plan on what's to expect. But he's using obviously something new as well. He might be playing around as much as I am, so I'm going to Neutron, which is the perfect time for that because this thing's not going to be able to get through. That's just why I like a Neutron so much. It keeps my board presence. Like something like Leper Gnome shouldn't last 3 turns, but generally with my Neutron it does. I don't even know what this thing is. Your hero power. So your hero power can target minions. Wow, that's actually really, really cool. We do have the Soulfire to deal with that, and honestly, I'm not really scared about that right now, but I would like to throw out my Hobgoblin, possibly next turn, so I can hope for a decent Soulfire. So yeah, I'm going to draw into another Haunted Creeper, which is absolutely perfect. I would love to lose, actually, one of my Haunted Creepers right now, which would be the perfect thing. Great, that's actually what I wanted, because I want my Hobgoblin and 1 Haunted Creeper next turn. So I can throw out my Hobgoblin, and then T5, throw it a Haunted Creeper, which will then be a 3/4. So that should be very, very useful. Again, it's going to have the Death Rattle anyways, as well as Loatheap turn 5 as well. That's my plan. Hobgoblin isn't obviously a prime focus either, so if I do get something better on my draw, then I'll obviously do that as well. And I forgot to end my turn like a derp. And he is thinking about throwing out Call Pet, draw a card. If it's a beast, it costs 4 less. Did he get his beast? He's coining up. I'm assuming he didn't get his beast then. He's going to do Mad Scientist. I'm not too scared about that. Obviously, it's probably going to be an explosive trap. but I am doing the Hobgoblin, and this is where the Hobgoblin comes in extreme handy. We can see we got a 3/5 taunt on the board now, and this is what this deck is all about, just that board presence. It's so hard to deal with big taunt creatures early game. Hobgoblin definitely helps out in that situation, but it's very situational as well. That's the only time it helps out, and this deck doesn't have a lot of 1-drops. He's doing Unleash the Hounds, which is totally a good time to do it, but no, he doesn't know how I play my deck either, so that's probably going to be Explosive Trap. Might be Freezing Trap as well, I don't know. Generally, I assume is going to be Explosive Trap, though, so we're going to have to deal with that now. Yep, obviously Explosive Trap, because he did 2 damage to that. If I don't have a heal or anything, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to take this Explosive Trap to the face. I'm actually going to grab my card draw as well. I could have done Low Thief there. That might have been the smarter play, but it looks like everything but my Hobgoblin's going to die here, unfortunately. As it is, when your heroes attack, deal 2 damage to all enemies, I'm just going to kill a bunch of these off. Actually, I don't even know if it procs when I use my Leper Gnome. I may as well try anyways. And is it going to do it? No, it's not. Okay, good. And then I'm just going to attack this, clear the board, and then attack face, which will proc the Explosive Trap. And I still have my Hobgoblin at least, as well as I can throw out my Haunted Creeper now. Do I want to do that, or do I want to do... No, I'm going to do Haunted Creeper because I want to utilize this as much as possible. There we go. Good stuff. 3/4 Haunted Creeper, thanks to the Hobgoblin. Definitely useful Hobgoblin, and he still has to figure out a way to get rid of it. Animal Companion to the Piggy. Even be smart to go through the Haunted Creeper, but hey, man, if you want to do that, that's all good, too. I don't know why he would do that, to be totally honest. I guess... Okay, well, now I did draw something that would be very scary to buff. As much as that, we're going to Low Thief this turn, as well as Undertaker. Just keep that board presence up. Low Thief's a definitely scary card, and you can see I'm just slowly trickling down his face as we get to T7 here. Savannah Highmane, kind of expected that. Not a huge issue. I might just go for the face here, try and scare him off. Actually, let's go for the card draw before I do anything here. Always smart to go for the card draw, by the way, because you do shit like that and you miss it out. And then you get mad at yourself because you fucked up. There we go. And we got 15, 9. Alright, I almost have kill. If I can draw into a Soulfire, I have kill. He obviously doesn't have much of a chance anymore. And this is really all this deck is about. Just total control the whole game to the point where they can't deal anything. Obviously, that's not a huge issue. I got so many things on the board that he's not going to have much of an answer. With 3 mana, I don't think he really has anything I could deal with. Kill command. So he got close. He got close. Being that a hunter, you have to watch for that. But you can see that we had no problem at all dealing with that face rush hunter. Yeah, this is what this deck is all about. It's been working really, really good for me. And I've only played it for about maybe 20 games now and kind of tweaked it a bit. And it's done really well. So yeah, that's the deck in a nutshell, guys. I call it GvGoo. I don't know what else you would really call it. It's just a really good working deck for the start of this expansion. I think people that are better than me can definitely do a lot better on it. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.